you're angry. It's okay.
I'm not angry. Except when you keep repeating, you're angry. And that shit's fucking annoying. Like a fucking gnat at a barbecue. Just bugging the fuck out of me.
Good. I want you to say, I'm angry. It's okay. I'll process my anger. I love myself. Woozah.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And boom, episode 48, back from vacation. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just did like 10 minutes. No, not even 10 minutes. Let's say 5. I did 5 minutes of this episode and I forgot to hit record on the camera. So when I finally realized, I looked up and I'm like, man, I got to say all that stuff again. And it's going to come out completely different now because, see, it was original thought. And now I don't know what the hell. I don't even know what direction to go in now. But yeah, it kind of upset me because I felt like, when you're originally starting off, it was so much better. And now, like, I don't know what to say. But anyway, I'm back from vacation. If you're looking at the video, I'm kind of sunburnt right now. Whatever state you're in right now, it's like the sun is far. When you're in Puerto Rico, the sun is right in your face. So right now, my head is like the complexion of a hot dog. And if you look at the top of my head, it's pretty cool. It's like, it looks like brain nerves. It's like you see some dark spots and then you see some white lines. And so right now I'm just like peeling all over the place. And if you also see the video, don't zoom in. I mean, somehow when this comes out, even after editing, that I try not to make it so close to my face is still really close. You're going to see like some white marks. It's dry spots. I've been putting lotion on it and lotion and lotion and lotion. And then it goes away for a second. And then it comes right back and it's like drier. So like, I don't know what to do with it. I got to Google the shit. Probably have to go to Walmart and get all types of lotions and potions. But yeah, my face is like completely dry, even though I put lotion on it like 7 times today. But yeah, back from vacation. Not really back. I have one more day left. But I always have to, I always schedule my vacation. So when I get back from wherever if I'm traveling, if it's a staycation, it's different. But if I'm traveling, I always have 1 or 2 days where I make a vacation from the vacation because you need that, right? Because during the vacation, it's all hectic and you're traveling everywhere. You're going through security and all the airport and all the other shit, and you got to schedule stuff. So I need a vacation from that. So right now I'm on the 2nd day, and tomorrow would be work. So yay, not looking forward to that. Or try not to let work, not to even look at stuff work. I didn't bring my laptops. I didn't do any of that. But my phone does get some mail in it. And I took a peek and I was like, oh my God, 1,000 plus emails. And then, that kind of gets in your head like, Monday morning is going to be rough. But anyways, it's whatever, it happens. Shit. So kind of worried about that and also kind of don't give a shit. I'm like ready for the next vacation, honestly. I was like coming back from vacation, I think as soon as we unpacked and stuff, I was already looking for like another vacation, honestly. It's like I felt like it was a good recharge for me. Like I felt like I see things different perspective that I'm going to start changing with myself and I'm going to start doing some new things and more certifications, of course. And I was going to talk about that. But yeah, it was like a refresher for my head because it was really and I think I said this already. It was really a real vacation for me. Like I've been going on vacations where I'm still working. So I'm like, that's not a vacation. Like this, I honestly did not even, I mean, I might have took a peek. I said a peek at my emails, but that's about it. I didn't like answer anything. And then everybody's hitting me up they got questions like, oh, what do we do in this case? But too bad, too bad. Nope. Not getting any answer from me. And then I got WhatsApp hitting me up and I'm like, nope. Everybody would be ignored. I think even tomorrow when I get on, I still gonna have my out of office on. I'm gonna just ignore everyone. You guys gotta let me catch up with 3,000 emails that I'll probably have. So but yeah, let's talk vacation. Vacation was fun. I really enjoyed vacation. Might have booked it different going into this next time. I went into Rincon, Puerto Rico. That's if you look at the map of Puerto Rico, and I can put it up so people can see, it's on the other side of the island. So it's like we landed in San Juan. There is a closer airport, but it's not a direct flight from. There's not a direct flight from Georgia, so I would have to go from Georgia to Florida to Aguadile, and it's the same thing. It's like I was like, I'd rather go into San Juan because it's a direct flight to San Juan and then drive. Well, I didn't drive because I wasn't planning on driving on vacation. I hate driving, so we had a shuttle take us from San Juan to Rincon. That was 2 hours. So if you think about it, like we got a chance to drive through the island. So, but yeah, if I were to book it, I'll next time I'll do that. Stupid connection. And some of these connections I don't understand. That somebody's got to explain that. If flights and stuff, like why do I have to go from Georgia up north to like New Jersey to fly all the way back down to fucking Aguadilla airport? And I don't understand that. So somebody can explain that to me. But yeah, so next time I'll do that stupid connection flight. And yeah, because the 2 hour drive is kind of like, I'd rather be in the air. And then if we land in Aguadile, I keep saying it wrong every time. It's Aguadile. Aguadile. Okay. So if we land there, it's like more of a 40-minute drive than a 2 hour. We actually had 2 hours and 20 minutes from San Juan to Rincon. Anyways, that was boring as hell. Jesus Christ. Just sounded like Google Maps. Anyways, but yeah, we got to there and I loved where we stayed. Picked out a good Airbnb and it was literally our backyard was the beach. So we opened up a gate, we're in the beach. So it was perfect. And it was like private too. So it's like we have like having your own private little beach. So I thought that was fun. And I'll post videos of that. Videos or pictures. I'll see what I have. Might not post anything. I might not have anything, but so one of the purposes besides going on vacation, I wanted to get my open water dives. We've been talking about scuba forever, and I think this will be the last episode I talk about scuba actually because it's over. So yeah, so this will be the last time you guys hear me talk about scuba. If just in case you guys didn't like it and you're like, oh, he's talking about scuba again, this will be the last episode about scuba. But anyways, so went out get the scuba certification. Um, glad we did it out there because I didn't want to really do it. I mean, there's some places you could go in Georgia, but one is haunted, and they're making a movie about it. It's called Lake Lanier, and I've been to Lake Lanier before. I did boating out there. I was driving boats, pontoon boats, and dragging my kids on tubes. So I've been there before, but you hear so much horror stories. If you just Google Lake Lanier and horror stories and all that shit, yeah. So I was like, definitely don't want to go scuba there. And then the next thing is Alabama. Alabama had a nice one, but also it's like, that doesn't sound too exciting. And then there's Florida, the Florida Keys. That's more expensive. And I was like, if I'm spend that type of money, I'd rather go to Puerto Rico. And I think even if you think about it, I think Florida Keys was more expensive than Puerto Rico. So yeah, if I'm thinking about it, by thousand, maybe $2,000 more. So I'm glad I did in Puerto Rico. It was fun. We got 4 open water dives. We had to do 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. Um, the first 3 dives were, skill based. We got to make sure we know, show them what we learned and, make sure that we're good on our own. Cause it's like having a provisional license, how you have to drive with somebody when you have a provisional license. And then that's what we had, basically a provisional scuba license. And now we're getting the one where we don't need anybody. So, and the first 3 dives, they teach you, you got to do your skills and all that. And then the fourth dive is the fun dive. So probably during this whole thing, if you guys are watching, I could play a video that just goes the whole episode of me, basically going in and out of the water. I mean, my episodes are 30 minutes. Some of these videos are like 40, so I could just put one in there. I'll try to find a good one, and you guys could just see it through the whole thing. But anyway, um, first dive, terrifying. You know, you're not in the pool anymore. You realize you're out in open water, and you're in the middle of the water. So I remember, like, we were getting on. We go to the middle of the water, and then you got to sink. You hit your deflator, you go all the way to the bottom. So we started with, what was it, 30 feet, 20. We started with 25 feet, then we went 30 feet, and then we eventually went 60 feet deep. So you got to think about that too, right? If you go in a pool and you're like in like 10-foot pool, imagine that. Sometimes it gets a little terrifying, especially if you don't know how to swim. If you're in the water at 10 feet, because you imagine, like, if you're going down, imagine going up, imagine being 60 feet, and then imagine there's a lot of like dangers that can happen because you don't know what the fuck's out there, right? Um, and on dive four, I'll tell you, on dive four, there was this lady who came with us. She worked with the diving company. Um, she was saying that she saw sharks out earlier, and I'm just like, do we not want to stop? I mean, like, that sounds terrifying. And in the video, in one of the videos I posted, I said it. You can't hear me 'cause I have the GoPro, but when the GoPro's in the waterproof casing, the audio's kind of low. But I said, well, that's terrifying, and there was no response from them. But anyway, so dive number one, terrifying, and it sets the tone for the rest of the dive. So it was, I got to the bottom. I'm like, holy crap! Now you're in like somebody's backyard. So it's weird. You go down, and the first dive, we follow the guy. We're underwater. Let's say we're 30 feet. We're underwater, and what do I see? I look to the right. I don't now. I thought it was a stingray, but then I was talking to my friend yesterday. He said it could have been a manta ray. Anyway, it was one of the fucking rays, and it was huge, right? It was huge. And the thing looked like we did something where it was aggravated because I don't know if we landed on it. I don't know if we like were in its territory. But anyway, the thing started following us. So, let's say we went a mile out, that thing was following us the whole goddamn mile. So like it have our instructor, he pointed to it just to let us know that, hey, it's right there. And then he moved on. Like, basically what we're supposed to be doing is following him and using our skills and communicating underwater, making sure we have air and all that shit. And you know, the instructor and my daughter, they just went off. They were like, okay, cool, stingray, manta ray, whatever ray, and they kept going. Me, I was like, hey, I'm gonna look at this thing until it goes away. So I was really swimming with my head on a swivel. I wouldn't keep my eye off. So I don't care if I swam into anything. There could have been something in front of me. I was looking to my right because I wanted to see what the hell that was and when it was gonna go away. So it eventually went away, but it let's say it chased us for a long time. Like, it didn't do anything. It didn't get close to us, but I mean, it was close to us, but it didn't get to a point where we're like, oh shit, I gotta stab this thing or something. But yeah, so that was like, I'm like, wow, is this the first dive? I'm terrified to see what dive 2, 3, and 4 are like. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing a ray on one. I want to see a shark on the other, So, so the first dive, um, it's over quickly because, it's our first time there. So, you're a little nervous, you're breathing harder, so your oxygen runs out quicker. So if you look at, like, we have to keep a dive log, and if you look at dive one to compare to dive four, you know, dive one was the quickest dive because we had to get used to it. We had to stop being nervous, and by dive four, we were good. We went on about 37 minutes, where dive one was like close to 20 something. So I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, shit, I was nervous, so and yeah, what they do, you always have to communicate your air, and when they see you're getting close to, you might need to tap out. That's when we start ascending, and then we have to go back to the beach. So it was fun, man. It was the first dive. Like I said, I was nervous. Of course, I'm nervous. Um, and each dive, like, the nerves went away. By dive four, I'm just like, let's do this. And plus, it's the end, so you're like, after this, I'm officially SCUBA certified. So I officially have my license. So, it was pretty cool. Um, we saw, besides the ray, we saw a bunch of fish. I mean, you guys watch Finding Nemo, the Dory, Dory. I think she's called a blue angelfish. There's a ton of them down there. We saw a ton of those, some clear fish. Um, we saw a giant fucking lobster. Like this thing was like the king of lobsters. You ever seen a lobster? I always think like you go like the Red Lobsters or something, or you go out somewhere and you're like, damn, that's a pretty big lobster. It was just imagine 3 times bigger than that. I could tell you right now, you didn't see a bigger lobster than the one that we saw. It was so like you could be far away and see this motherfucker. That's how big it was. Anyway, we saw that. We saw this thing called a lionfish. I didn't know what a lionfish is, and of course, everybody else knows what a lionfish is. They were like, "Oh yeah, I know what a lionfish is." I did not know what a lionfish was. First time seeing it. The guy pointed at. I got it on my GoPro. Well, I got like half of it because it was like in its like little cave. So it turns out later we're back on the surface. We're swimming back to the beach. He goes, "Did you see that lionfish?" I was like, "Yeah, man, that's pretty cool." And he was like, they're delicious. And I was like, all right, cool. And I never really seen a lionfish on a menu. That's not something you normally see. He was like, oh yeah, man, they're the tastiest of fishes. I was like, okay. He was like, but they're also poisonous. And I'm like, huh? He was like, well, yeah, if it would have got to you, there's some barbs on it or something that you can die because they're poisonous. And I was like, and then in my head, I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, so how the fuck you eat it? It's one of those questions like, is this a stupid question or this is logical? I'm like, well, if it's poisonous, how the fuck do you eat it? You know? Because the way he was saying it was poisonous, he was like, oh, they're very poisonous. I'm like, then why the fuck would you want to eat it? I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. Those questions I ask. I didn't know what a lionfish was. But also, if you've been following me through this whole podcast journey, and you know how people in Georgia know all these bugs that they expect you to know. That's how this guy was with fish. Like he just thought like he said a name of a fish. He was like, "Did you guys see the tarpon tope?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know fish." You know? You can't say a name of a fish and I'm like, "Oh yeah, the tarpon tope." The only thing I knew was lobster. That's the only thing I know. And the Finding Nemo fish were all in the fucking water. Every fish that was on Finding Nemo was there. There was the clownfish, there was the dory, there was the things in the fucking thing. There was all those were there. Even the birds were there. But yeah, it was just like, no, dude, I don't know fish. You could start naming all these fish, and I won't. I know salmon, but hey, I know salmon when it's filleted. If you put an actual salmon fish that's real in real life, probably can't tell you it's a salmon. That you could probably be like, what kind of fish is this? I wouldn't fucking know. I know what it looks like when it's filleted and shit. So yeah, that was funny. It was just like, yeah, it's a tease and taupe. Like, oh, cool. And I just pretend, when you get to those situations, you just pretend like because you don't want to be like him explaining what it is and him looking at you like you're an idiot. So I was just, oh yeah, the tease and taupe. Seen a bunch of those. So, but yeah, man. And forgive me, my eyes. I'm all fucked up. My ears, kind of still a little clogged. I have this stuff, unclogged because you're messing with different atmospheres of water. So when we got to the 60 feet, I feel like my ears are still a little bit clogged. And then my contacts, and then like right now, like I feel like I'm just like I need an extra day. I know I go to work tomorrow. Like I need an extra day, but yeah, that was good, man. The vacation was good. It was nostalgia galore because it's good to see my kids there, and that was their first time in Puerto Rico, and it was good for them to see how like it was kind of like how I grew up. Like, um, for example, like there's a bakery in Puerto Rico. There's a bakery like every 2 blocks. Every 3 blocks is a damn bakery, right? And a coffee spot. So they're big on coffee. They're big on making bread, coffee, and pastries. So, as a kid with my grandmother, my father's mother, um, she, as a kid, we used to walk from her house to the bakery. And the guy it was a Puerto Rican dude. He had his own convenience store. He baked bread just like they do in Puerto Rico. Like he took them skills and he brought it to, it was North Newark, New Jersey. So he used to do what they did down there. He just brought it to the, you know, New Jersey, which I thought was cool. And so, yeah, every morning I would go with my grandmother. We'll get a coffee. We'll get a big fucking thing of bread, sometimes two, one buttered, one non-buttered, and whatever things we needed is normally like cold cuts or something because it was like the cheapest shit back then. So I did that every day with my grandmother until one day, like, it's gonna sound fucked up. She started making me do it by myself, and I know I wasn't of the age because shit, I was still in grammar school. Was I in grammar school or elementary? Elementary. What's the small one? I was a fucking kid. Anyway, I mean, was the house? The house was literally like a block. I mean, the convenience store was like maybe a block and a half or 2 blocks away. But still, like if you think about it now, like they won't, parents won't let kids go outside, let alone go to a store, come back with bread, cold cuts, and coffee. So that's what they used to do with me. Like, I guess my grandmother like let me get used to it for about 2 weeks, and then she put me out there. She was like, "All right, go ahead." So I used to go. She'd give me the money. I go to the store. I get the bread. I get the coffee. I get cold cuts, and whatever change was left was for me. So that's when the fat boy was there, and then I would get like get a thing of flan. Remember, this is a Puerto Rican store, so I get a thing of fucking flan, or I would get, I'll get something for me with the leftover change, and that was my everyday thing. Anyway, what I was bringing back with the nostalgic thing is, my kids were kind of doing that on this trip. They would go to the bakery, get something every day, bring it back with the coffee. So I'm glad that they went through that because it's like, hey, this is how Daddy grew up. This Daddy did this every day, every morning when I lived in North Newark with my grandmother, and then without my grandmother. So I liked them seeing that, and then I liked them eating like authentic Puerto Rican food. There's some pastries. Um, I guess you guys would call them meat pie. Just imagine like a very flaky pastry with meat in it. It's delicious. Anyway, that quesitos, things with guava. So I'm glad they got to try all like the Puerto Rican food, and they loved it out there. Like in the end, they wanted to stay. And I don't know. I was getting to the point where like, yeah, I need some real estate out here. I might, look into buying some property out there. I don't know. I got to see. I got to mess around with some numbers and stuff. But I honestly want to get some property down there. Like I would love to get some property down there. I mean, especially go to where we were at. Maybe somewhere a little closer to the airport. But yeah, I'm very interested in getting some property down there and going to the beach, then doing scuba more. I could do scuba. And by the way, while I'm ending the scuba shit, uh so when I'm certified, I will show that card on here, god damn it. Proud of it. But what else? What else? Um yeah, it was good. Fun trip. Very relaxing. The sun was kicking. I tagged a few spots. The coffee down there was fucking amazing. I mean, man, I was over tipping like a motherfucker. Like if I had a $5 coffee, you might get a $10, $15 tip from me. Honestly, I was doing that to the point where I did it, and I think this lady wanted to cry. Like she kind of broke down because it was like it tasted so much better. Like I'm like I'm spending all this fucking money on like a Starbucks, and the coffee's a hit or miss sometimes, and sometimes it's a bunch of too much shit. Starbucks coffees. This coffee was delicious, and I tagged them on my story. There's a place called Daily Dose, and yeah, the coffee was amazing. So yeah, I was over tipping them like a motherfucker. What else? Uh, what else? I do say this: if you ever guys go down there, it's good to rent a car. I didn't want to drive, but certain places in Puerto Rico they don't have like Uber. Like you're gonna get Uber in the bigger cities like San Juan, Ponce. But when you start going like to like the countryside, there's not a lot of Ubers, so we had to do a taxi service. which I took care of that when I was down here. Like I figured that out through the SCUBA company. They were like, there's not, Ubers in Rincon. I'm like, no, I did not know that. I thought there would be Ubers everywhere. He's like, oh no. So yeah, so next time I'm down there, I would definitely rent a car. Just get around. I mean, everything's really walking distance, but sometimes that sun be kicking and you don't want to walk in that hot sun holding a hot coffee. Trust me, I know. You can see my face. It's just burnt crispy. Like there was one point, if I didn't put this aloe on, my face was just hurting. I was in the water. I was like, my face hurts. But what else? That was good. The trip was good. The flight there and the flight backs to me was just like, what was worse? I think the flight back was worse. There's something with these flights, man. It's the service level is like, no, we were with Delta, but Delta's fine. It was just, what gets annoying with these flights? It's the seating, like the random seating. I don't know what the hell was going on with the seating, but anyway, what I had an issue with is what I always had an issue with flying is motherfuckers can't hear me on the plane. Anybody else have that issue? I thought it was just me. I was like, damn, man, I know I have a low voice to begin with. So I always said, like, I'm either shouting at you or you can't hear me. I can't find an in between. So on the plane, the guy's like, they go up to you, like, want anything to drink? Want any snacks? So I look at him. I'm like, water and no snacks, please. The guy goes, huh? And I already knew he was going to do that. So that's why I said it. I thought I'm loud. We're on a plane. You don't want me shouting on here. So I thought I was pretty loud. So I go again. I go a little louder, put a little more bass in my voice. I say, water, no snacks. Then he comes closer to me, and then I'm already mad. When that happens, I'm already mad. Like, I want to say something to be an asshole. I really do, and I need to. I feel like that's a therapy thing. I need to go to therapy for that. Like, cause right now I'm like, oh, I said your mother. I want to say something, something so fucked up that it'll mess him up. Because I'm like, I feel like you hear me. You're just fucking with me. Because if I would have been like, I'll take some water and your mother, I feel like he would punch me in the face, right? Because I feel like he would have heard that. But if I said, no snacks, of course he can't hear me. So that was that was my issue. I'm like, does anybody else have that issue with the airlines? I'm curious. So when you guys, watch this or listen to this, let me know in the comments. I'm curious because I always have that problem. They can't hear me, and I'm just like, well, I feel like I'm fucking shouting. Any louder, I feel like I'm like, sir, calm down. But yeah, I don't know, man. It pisses me off all the time. But yeah, that was it. I mean, traveling with scuba gear. I mean, I never had so many bags. The bags were ridiculous because my kids had bags, I had bags, we had bags. I mean, then the scuba gear. So it was just like I had to actually check in 3 bags, which I haven't checked in bags in forever. Like I normally can do carry on, but yeah, I had to check in 3 bags, and I'm just like, woof, it was a lot. Especially Atlanta airport, get better, man, with that fucking ride share. It's a long, like if you fly Delta and you got to get your luggage to go to Uber, you have to take this long walk. And I wouldn't mind it if I didn't have all this fucking luggage I had to hold. It's a long fucking walk. You got to go all the way to the blue side, down an escalator, across this big ass parking lot, up to the ride share. And I'm just like, nope, do better, Atlanta, do better. But anyways, yeah, that's it for me. I did some streaming today. I'm back in full force, I missed this. Uh so before this I did some streaming. So I was doing streaming, I'm doing this. Now I'm gonna work out and then I'm get back to it. Get to the editing before, doomsday. Doomsday is work. Before doomsday comes. I want to get all that shit in. But anyway, guys, as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I will see you on the next one. My voice won't be hoarse and I'll be more awake. Later.
Oh, don't be angry.
I'm not angry. I think it's funny.